Here it is. It's your boy Kenny. Just got home from work. Of course, before I wrap it up for the evening, just feel like cooking. So, let me show you what we got on the menu today. What we got going this evening, got some cube steak. We'll fry that up with some chicken fried steak. Hit it up with a little bit of seasoning, garlic salt, onion powder, black pepper, a little parsley, and I think that's some chili powder right there. So I got my station already set up. I'm gonna hit it with flour, egg, flour, oil. We're gonna season up this flour a little bit too. Make sure you season your flour. That's a good tip right there. So we're gonna start sprinkling this with a little garlic salt. Nice layer. Black pepper. Some onion powder. And get a little chili powder going. I like chili powder. It's good with beef. Add a little smokiness to it. Then get a little herbage. A little parsley. Alright, we're going to get these flipped. I'm going to do the other side, then we're going to get the dredging. So now we got them flipped and seasoned. About to get my bread on. So we're going to go in the first flour to get a nice coating. You want a light coat right here. You don't want nothing too heavy. You want to dip it in the egg. And then into your seasoning mixture. Same seasoning we season the meat with, you put on this flour. That's going to get your crust right there. Alright, you got the idea. I'm going to run through the rest of these. Then we'll get ready to drop this in some oil. Got this oil nice and hot. About ready to drop this meat. Check me out. Yeah. Let the seasoning and the breading set up some. You know, let it get to know the meat. So what I generally like to do, you gotta remember what your first piece is. And we're just gonna drop it in this oil. Alright, so we're just going to let them go for a minute. Oil's nice and even, see the even bubbles. You know, we got it set in the middle. I don't know, everybody's stove is the same. Mine's set in the middle, let's see. So we're just going to let those go, leave them alone, let that crust form. Let them do what they do. Remember, you got that egg in there, you got that flour, season the meat. Put the same season that we put on the meat in the flour, in the last dredge. Don't put it in the first, put it in the last dredge. So these is almost ready. Check it out. So flip them, get a nice little even brown on them. These coming along fine. I like that. You don't be too rough. You don't want to peel your breading off. You know, the breading's stuck. As you can see, it's stuck. You put a light coat of flour, hit it with some moisture, and then go ahead and dredge it again. I'm ready to pull these bad boys because these are looking good. Bubbles and slow down, so we know they're ready to pull. Keep flipping them, get that brown, nice golden brown on both sides. You know, that's how we do it. That's how we do it. When you feel like cooking, this is what you do. So these is ready. I'm gonna go ahead and set that in the copper shelf. I'm gonna let that one sit a little bit longer. That's gonna be last to pull. We're gonna set that. Okay. Let's let that cook a little bit. So we're gonna babysit these for a minute. I'm gonna drop the rest of them. As you can see, they're nice and golden brown. Nice and golden brown. Nice even coating. Season. You can see the seasoning, so you know it's gonna taste good. On the tray. Tres. And Quattro. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop these two in here while I get some other ones ready. So we're gonna let those go. We're making a mess. And always remember, when you're handling the raw meat, wash your hands in between what you're doing. Don't go touching your meat to touching everything else. Alright, wash your hands like I do. Check it out. Here's a little shortcut. If you ain't got time messing with egg, flour, seasoning and all that, something I figured out you could do. You take your basic cube steak, you add a little chicken fry on it. Make it a nice thick coat. If you ain't got your egg, all you bachelor dudes out there, get you a nice good coat on there. Shake off the excess. Whichever one you like, don't matter. So this is a little shortcut method I did. Check it out. So we took a couple pieces of them steak, dredged it in the chicken fry mix. I mean that came out alright. Look at that. We got a little crust form and all that. That's a nice little shortcut. So for those who out there who want to shortcut it, do something real quick, maybe you want to put something together real quick for lunch, for work, snack, whatever. There you go. Chicken fry mix on the cube steak. Shortcut chicken fried steak. Alright, you can't have no chicken fried steak without no good gravy. Let me show you how I whip up a quick milk gravy. Alright, so I take a 1/4 cup of the oil that I fried the steak in. Nice and seasoned. You can get some of them little grochons, or whatever they call them. Nice flavor. You know, you add a little color to your gravy. But that's seasoning right there. That ain't nothing burnt. That's all seasoning. So we're going to put that right there. We're letting this heat up. It's nice and, oh yeah, it's nice and heated. Move this plug out the way. So then while that's getting nice and bubbly, it's coming along. Look at that. It's starting to cook. So we're going to put the same amount of flour in there. 1/4 cup. Whisk that up. Break up them chunks. Now you ain't gonna know how thick it's gonna turn out until after you add your liquid and then let it come to a boil. I don't want it too thick. I want it a little loose. So I'm gonna turn this fire down. Got that on a good medium. So then I'm going to start adding my milk and whisking at the same time. It's about enough. About a quarter, half a cup of milk. So of course, you know that milk will knock out a little bit of the seasoning. I ain't gonna add no more milk. That's enough right there. We're gonna hit a timer. Bam. So as you can see, we're gonna let that come to a boil. As we let this come to a boil, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reinforce my seasoning a little bit. We ain't gonna add everything, but about 2 or 3 things that we added on the steak and in the flour mixture. And since we're making a good gravy, we get a good amount of black pepper in there. A little parsley. You want layers of flavor. You want layers of seasoning. That was some onion powder. So as you can see, it's starting to thicken. That's perfect gravy consistency for me. That ain't thick. That ain't super thick. That ain't super thin. I know it's seasoned. I ain't even gonna taste it. I already know I done did this so much. So as long as you keep it on the heat, it's gonna get a little thicker. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kill this heat and just let the residual keep it warm. Stir it every now and then, you know, when you let something sit. So for me, to prevent that skin forming and all that nasty stuff that don't nobody really like. As you look how thick the bubbles are. The bubbles, man, I'll let you know how thick it is. That's a good gravy. So I'm just gonna cover it. Got her done. Quick chicken fried steak, nice quick milk gravy, and what I'm eating with mine is some potato salad. So I'm confident in this, that this is going to be the business. So I'm going to use a butter knife to cut it. Oh yeah. Season all the way through. Did the Pfeff method. Flour, egg, flour. The last dredge on the last F of the Pfeff method. Put the same seasoning in it that you season the meat with. When you do your gravy, remember when you add the milk to it, it's going to blend it out. So reinforce it. Add the same seasoning that you season your meat and your flour with. Real simple. I'm going to go ahead and get back to this. Of course, I will be drinking some Kool-Aid, but they drunk it all. So I'm going to be stuck with some soda. Anyway, this is your boy Keenan. Just felt like cooking chicken fried steak. 1.